I'm delighted to be joined by Shaesta Waiz of Dreams Soar. Hi Shaesta, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me to be here today.
Great to meet you. So, pilot, ambassador for the FAA, founder of the Aviate platform and Dreams Soar. That's quite some impressive stuff there.
Thank
Can you tell
you.
us a little bit more about Dreams Soar?
Yes, absolutely. So Dreams Soar is a nonprofit that I founded in 2016. And at the heart of it, our objective was to inspire the next generation of aviation professionals. So in 2017, I flew a Beechcraft Bonanza around the world by myself, visiting over 22 countries. It was a total of 30 stops. And as I was making my way around the world, I had the opportunity to meet with over 3,000 kids face to face and talk to them about careers in aviation. And upon completing the trip, Dreams Soar went on to participate in a total of over 62 outreach events all over the world. I've met with 25,000 kids. We awarded a flight scholarship back in 2020 to a young woman at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, the university I graduated from. And now we're positioning ourselves to be the one-stop shop hub for young people to go to discover aviation and then have access to bridge programs to get into those careers.
That's an incredible story.
Thank you.
What are your key messages then to children when you meet them about aviation?
So I'm not originally, I don't have any family members who worked in aviation. I don't come from an aviation background per se. So growing up, my family, we were all refugees from Afghanistan. We went to America, we resettled there. And I grew up with 5 sisters, so 6 girls. And I just, I thought like the best thing that life could offer me was for me to get married at a young age and have a family like my mom and women, generationally had done. And then I found aviation at the age of 17 as a passenger on Delta Airlines. And I fell in love with it. I loved how aviation is just very elevating. And when you're flying in the airplane, it suddenly doesn't matter where you come from or the challenges that you face. The only thing that matters is your ability as a pilot to fly that aircraft. So because of that unbiased environment, I really found my calling, my passion. And, this is really the message that I share with young people around the world is aviation is just such an incredible and exciting career option. And you could really come from any part of the world. The sky belongs to everybody.
It's International Women's Day today, and the UN theme for International Women's Day is digital innovation and technology to support the gender equality. What messages might you have for women who are aspiring to a career in aviation?
It's tough because there are not a lot of women in aviation, and you see it everywhere you go. When you look in the flight deck, when you, just across the board, women, there's so few of us in aviation. And it can be very intimidating, and to find your place could be hard. But I feel like with all of the exciting innovation that's happening right now with, space flight, with sustainable aviation fuel, even supersonic flight, like there's just so much there. And with women being 50% of the world's population, now is our time to jump in and, be a part of this industry, be a part of this innovation. So that is one thing that I am, always sharing with women is we need you now more than ever, and join now to be a part of this really exciting innovation that we're seeing.
You gave a keynote yesterday, I understand.
Yes.
It's been a big hit. I'm told by many
Thank you.
people that that it was pretty exceptional. What were your key messages in the keynote?
My keynote just really came from my heart. I just shared my story, my humble upbringings, and how I found aviation. And by pursuing a career as a pilot, it just has given me so much perspective. It has just empowered me in ways that I never thought I could be empowered. And also, going around the world and just sharing the impact that the global flight had. So I did the flight under Dreams Soar, but it was really the industry coming together to propel me around the world. We had organizations like ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, partner with us so that every stop that I had, there were, some sort of an outreach event where I could connect with kids. Several aviation companies came on board to support the effort, supporting in ways of like donating fuel, covering the flight planning costs. I mean, it was just really a mission of love and unity. And so I shared those stories. And I also shared a really tough moment that I encountered on the trip around the world. And I just related it to, if you're just a person who's pursuing something different or facing a fear or pursuing a new skill, you're going to have setbacks and you just got to keep going. And so it was just several little messages, but it really came from the heart. And I think people resonated with that and they're inspired.
Is it that inspirational message which plays out in your work as a FAA ambassador as well?
Absolutely. So a lot of the work that I do with the FAA is around promoting aviation to the youth, especially STEM education. And, it's so important for me because I never had that growing up. I never had, someone coming to my school or, giving talks. And I can't imagine my life if I didn't find aviation. So I'm always thinking about the next person that I talk to, how much of an impact could this have, and what they could possibly do in aviation if they were to get into it.
Looking behind us and looking around, there's a lot of men here at the show.
Right.
How do we overcome the gender gap in the aviation sector?
I think you're right. There are a lot of men in aviation, and it's a lot about. I feel like we've had a lot of discussions. The statistics are out there. The Federal Aviation Administration, they had they called it the Women in Aviation Advisory Board. Just leaders, women, 30 of them coming together from all sectors of aviation and working on building a report with over 55 recommendations of how the industry, the government can really support women. So I feel like there's been a lot of talk about it, and now is the time for action. If you're a company that's looking to take action, there's that report out there. It's available online with 55 amazing recommendations of how to not only inspire but empower women in aviation. And so I feel like now is the phase for action.
Shaesta, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.